Hey guys, good afternoon. So it is Tuesday, the 22nd, right? 22nd, 21st, 23rd? It's Tuesday, around that time, circa the 22nd. I'm a bit out of it. I'm always out of it, seems lately. Anyway, on that note, so I want to apologize to you guys. Like I said, I'm trying to be as transparent as I can in this journey and not just make it about, just maybe show you my mindset, who I am as well as the sights and things like that. So I readily admit one of my biggest flaws is I wear my emotions on my sleeve. I go up and down. So I know today was kind of a downer, and it is what it is. But the real fact of the matter is that whatever journey I have ahead of me when I get back home, it's going to be a totally different kind of journey, I guess. A journey back to respectability and some other things. Those things are going to be there when I get home. I'm going to be home in 5 or 6 days, and then I will have a whole new agenda and set of priorities, I guess. But they're going to be there when I get back. Same way when I tell people to point the thumb instead of, point the thumb and not the finger. There may be blame out there, but you can deal with that later, right? Point the thumb at yourself first. So that's kind of what I'm doing with these last few days. Is I've got to embrace it and cherish it. It's definitely been a different kind of mindset, or not even mindset. That's not true. It has been, but it's been a different. That's the word I'm looking for. Kind of welcome. It's one of the journey friends, Jim, said to me this morning. He goes, I think one of the things you're running across, Jim, is that L.A. and Southern California being so warm. And there are so many homeless people, so many people walking with backpacks, so many. You just blend right in. There's nothing really, special about you, in that regard. And there's truth in that. Not that there's ever anything special about me before, but when I walk through Central Ohio or I walk through Central, Missouri or something like that, you don't always have, literally a dozen or 2 dozen people, walking by you doing sort of the same thing you're doing. And it's just kind of this accepted way of life out here. It's definitely been interesting to see. So the only point I'm trying to make is that the reception and so forth isn't really anybody's fault. It's just kind of what's happened out here. I'm still doing my thing. I'm still talking to people, and they're loving to talk back and share their stories. But it's just different. But the weather, again, as I said earlier today, guess what? It's 85 and sunny and beautiful. I'm actually sitting, let me take it for a little walk with this, if I can. Got my right knee, guys, is shot. So, about the first 15 steps till it loosens up and gets going. So, anyway, I don't know if you can see this here, but that right there, friends, is the Rose Bowl. I might as well just take you on a journey of this. I just took some pictures, but I might as well just take a picture, take you on the journey here. So, I'm standing outside the Rose Bowl. It's kind of a park over here with a workout area. A bunch of people flying drones really close to me, by the way. They were really, the guy was circling my head basically about 20 feet ring with these drones. And this is an area dedicated to one of UCLA's most famous alumni, Mr. Jack Roosevelt Robinson. And I posted some pictures on there. Kind of neat story. This one over here I didn't share. I posted some pictures of Jackie Robinson. He's wearing number 55 in the statue, and the reason is that was the number he wore at Pasadena Junior College. But there's two different kind of things for him here. I don't know if you can see. But there were a couple poignant statements. A life, if I'm focused on it right now, I don't know if I am. A life is not important except in the impact it has on other lives. And I think that's a really brilliant statement. And then, as I come, trying to keep you guys hanging there with me. Another statement over here. Life is not a spectator sport. If you're going to spend your whole life in the grandstand just watching what goes on, in my opinion, you're wasting your life. And I definitely agree with that one. I think that we all, when I talk to people, I use this thing I may have shared with you guys. If we all knew that we were going to die at 70, but the trade-off was there was never any illnesses, we all had wonderful health, would we live our lives any differently, knowing that there was going to be this deadline? And most people say, yeah, they would. And then my question always is, well, why aren't you? We're all basically, not to sound morbid, but we're all dying every minute. We're getting one moment, 1 second, 1 hour closer to our expiration, I guess. And there's a picture over here. This one just reminds me of a joke I had heard. It's a long joke, so I won't share it with you. There's Jackie Robinson with Martin Luther King Jr. So anyway, the punchline of the joke, it's about a everyday common guy that claims he knows everybody in the world, and nobody believes him, and he starts hustling people. And finally the person says, you can't possibly know the Pope. So his name's Schwartzy, and Schwartzy goes to the Vatican with his friend, because you stay down here and I'm going to come out with my arm around the Pope, and when you do, you'll know I know him. So 11 o'clock, the curtains draw back and the Pope comes out to give Mass, and there's Schwartzy with his arm around the Pope. And he looks down and his friend passes out, so he runs down to wake him up. He says, Joe, are you okay? And essentially Joe, his friend, says, look, Schwartzy, when you knew so-and-so and so-and-so, I couldn't believe it. He said, but when the guy standing next to me said, hey, who's that guy up there with the Pope? I couldn't take it anymore. So he's two famous gentlemen. I wonder if anybody said, hey, who's that guy with Jackie Robinson? Or vice versa. So this is kind of interesting. I'd heard of this and didn't really remember this, but here's something to share with you guys from way back when. And I never know if you're on camera, so I apologize. So I'm reading to you as I go. But if you read this here, I think I got you on camera there. The 1942 Rose Bowl was the 28th Rose Bowl game. Originally scheduled to be played in the Rose Bowl Stadium in Pasadena, California, it was moved to Durham, North Carolina due to the fears of an attack on the west coast of the U.S. following the attack on Pearl Harbor and the start of World War II. So there's a little trivia question for you. The Rose Bowl was not always played in the Rose Bowl. In 1942, it was played in Durham, North Carolina. So there's a trivia question for you guys if you ever get on to Sports Jeopardy, and it's the final Jeopardy question. Now you know the answer. 1942 was the year. I got to show you a couple things though too while I'm here, and I hope I can get this. As I walked in here, it's weird, as clear as it is, the air, and I guess this is what they talk about, the LA smog. I don't think they mean smog in a bad way. There's just a cloudy, like the mountains, you can see the mountains, I don't know if you see it. The mountains are over here, and it's as clear a day as you can be, but they're kind of like foggy, like they've got film on a windshield, like on a window, like soapy film. But I don't know what mountains these are over here, but I'm going to start to the left. You see these homes up on the mountain. I think you can see them, and they're just absolutely beautiful. I can only imagine the view from up there. But then I just scan over, and I hope I've got it on camera. There's that one right up there on the top of the hill. I don't know if you can see it, right? If you get the light fixture here, go straight up over the light fixture, and you got what is essentially a mansion up on top of the hill, which is just phenomenal. So anyway, that's a little bit about where I'm at today with Pasadena. Tomorrow I'm going to be heading down towards I think I'm going to cut down and try to share. It's kind of almost my last day walking, essentially. I think I'm about 35 miles out of LA right now in the pier. But how you doing? They weren't honking at me. But I think I'm going to try to get down and share with you guys. If I cut down the right way, I think I can get through Beverly Hills, the Sunset Strip, maybe the Hollywood sign, something like that, and share that with you guys. And that's kind of my goal, so I can share that with my kids and let them know Dad was here. So when they get out here and they're a little bit older, when they come out, they can go, hey, that's this picture Dad took. So anyway, like I said, it's a lot of stuff waiting at home for me. That's not the most pleasant stuff in the world, but there's nothing I can do about it out here with 3 days to go. So I'm going to keep smiling, I'm going to keep sharing things with you guys. Thank you to those of you who have reached out to me, either to pick my spirits up, to encourage me, to tell me I got this. There's a whole lot of you out there. Tom Lane, thank you. Brian Blair, thank you. Just a bunch of folks, everybody. Marianne, Jamie, my kids. This gentleman over here, I'm going to try to show you. I don't know if you see a little fellow out there in the middle of the field. Well, you see him dive bombing this, I don't know if it's a radio controlled plane. I don't think it's a drone. There's a guy that had a little drone zipping by me before. But this guy's going to land his little plane now. I don't know if you can see it. I think there he goes. Zoom. Very cool. So he just landed his plane. So maybe I'll go do a live stream with him if he'll let me. I don't know. But anyway, so that's kind of where we're at, guys. So we're wrapping this thing up. Thanks to Glenn also for the words today. A lot of kind words I've gotten. Said it's kind of overwhelming and scary a little bit that we're wrapping this thing up, but we are. And I love you for it. I love you for everything you've done for me. You know, again, this journey's had kind of 3 different lives to it. I think the long-term journey is going to have a bunch of different lives to it. The walking part's going to be coming up to an end soon. But remember, guys, whatever happens, if you do nothing for me, those of you that followed me, preach pointing the thumb. Preach to your little ones, to your neighbors, to your friends. If somebody comes up to you and complains, even if it's a coworker, sometimes people just want to vent. But if you just stop them a little bit and go, "Hey, did you point the thumb?" I've had people come up and tell me that their coworker was coming in and bitching about their husband did this and their husband did that, and then someone said, "Hey, did you point the thumb?" And I'm like, "No." Well, even if you didn't like the dinner he cooked you, he made the effort, right? So did you even say thank you and things like that? No, I guess I didn't. I guess I could have. Maybe I could have handled that differently. So as long as we continue to point the thumb, we'll change the world a little bit at a time. All right. There goes an RC helicopter. Oh, it's upside down. Holy cow. Anyway, all right, guys. Well, I love you all. Thanks for following. Keep up the message of pointing the thumb. And I'm sorry, I got a radio control helicopter that's kind of zooming over my head, kind of crazily. Oh, there he is. I want you to see he's flying all sorts of whacked that way. You see him? I don't know if you can see that. Anyway, love you guys. Thank you much. I'm at the road pool. Who would have thought? Can you see that? Guys, I'm standing on a field outside the road pool in Pasadena, California. And Beverly Hills, look out. Here I come, Rodeo Drive. So I'm going to try to get you guys some pictures and some video down there tomorrow as well. All right? Thanks very much and have a great day, gang.